WB is getting ready to make some major changes with its biggest video game franchises. Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter, Batman, and even Game of Thrones are all on the table here. And to be honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So I'll break it all down here and then you can be the judge. If you haven't been paying attention to the business side of things, and honestly, I totally understand if you haven't, but WB Games' parent company, Warner Bros. Discovery, isn't exactly in a great place right now. Yes, it's true, Hogwarts Legacy sold and continues to sell a ridiculous number of copies. It made WB over $1 billion. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, however, fell well short of their expectations, and they haven't been shy in talking about that. WB leadership isn't a fan of this market volatility, so in order to try and combat that, they've discussed the possibility of doubling down even more on live service games. I know, right? Make it make sense. Warner Bros. Discovery is far more than just a gaming company, and their stock price has been hovering near all-time lows. They even overestimated the value of their TV channels by $9 billion. So there are actually two big news stories here to discuss as it relates to their video games. The first comes to us from Financial Times. They're reporting that WB Discovery could be looking to sell some of their gaming studios. It doesn't seem like they want to sell the division entirely, but it remains to be seen which studios they could be looking to sell. WB Game Studios are headlined by Avalanche Software, the devs behind Hogwarts Legacy, Rocksteady, the once beloved studio who created the Batman Arkham games, as well as TT Games who work on the LEGO titles. They also own Monolith, the Shadow of Mordor devs, NetherRealm, who usually work on Mortal Kombat, and 6 other WB Game studios across the world. In July, they also added Multiversus developer Player First Games to their studios, bringing the total number to 12. Of course, this isn't the first time we've had rumors and reports of WB looking to sell parts of its gaming business. It seems like every few years we have a fresh new report, and we'll likely continue to see these reports as long as WB's future remains so uncertain. Now this leads us to our second big story, which is an even bigger deal for fans of WB's IP like Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter, DC, and others. IGN reports they're looking to license out some of their biggest franchises to other gaming studios. So yes, this means we could be seeing Harry Potter games, or dare I say even Hogwarts Legacy games, made by studios outside of WB. Some of you are probably wondering, isn't this already happening with Harry Potter games? I mean, we have Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery developed by Jam City, Puzzles and Spells by Zynga, Magic Awakened by Zen Studio, and soon enough, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions from Unbroken Studios. In a sense, yes, it's happening with Potter games, but there are some key differences here. It's important to remember that WB and Portkey Games still serve as the publisher on all of these titles. They're the ones footing the bill to get these games made, taking on all the risks and all the costs associated with that. What they're looking to do now is different. They want to see if other studios have an interest in using some of their IP to make new games. So let's say EA is interested in doing a Harry Potter title based off the upcoming TV show. They would need to pay WB for the rights to use the characters, but then EA gets to make the game they want, and they publish the game on their label with the hopes of making more money than it costs to license the IP. If the game does well, it's a win-win for WB. They take home the cash for licensing out Harry Potter and get the boost of more exposure for their IP. They also don't have to pay for any of the development costs on the game itself. I'm sure there are also revenue sharing options here for WB, where they could potentially make more money based on the sales of the game. If the game flops, well, it can hurt somewhat in terms of the overall brand value on the IP, but they at least wouldn't be losing any money. They would still collect on the licensing paid by the other company. And when it comes to the bottom line at the end of the fiscal year, they're going to see green instead of red, even if the game does poorly. Now I have to say, I can't imagine WB would think it's a good idea to give a Hogwarts Legacy game to anyone but Avalanche Software. That being said, I have to be fair here and admit that this is such a rapidly changing industry, I suppose you can never say never. Right now, however, I think it's pretty clear from job listings at Avalanche that they are aggressively hiring for the next Hogwarts Legacy game. I mean, just taking a look here, they still have a number of jobs posted and available. I mean, if you really read through all of these listings here, I think it's pretty clear that this game is Hogwarts Legacy. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, first let's talk about how it could be a good thing for Potter and Legacy fans. The most obvious answer is that we could be getting a lot more games in the Wizarding world, especially if other companies are interested in making games with these IPs. And then if you consider the massive success of Hogwarts Legacy, you have to think there are going to be quite a few publishers interested. This also means that you guys are free to start imagining dream possibilities. So take your favorite developers and think about them working on a game set in the Wizarding world. Can we just take a second to dream what a Potter RPG made by the Baldur's Gate 3 devs would look like? This could even mean there's a small chance we get remasters of the older Harry Potter games, many of which remain beloved by fans around the world all these years later. Due to EA owning the rights to these games, but WB now owning owning the rights for Harry Potter, this is something that many of us never thought possible. And even though I don't consider it likely, I have to say that it's certainly more plausible now in light of these recent comments from WB. There could also be a situation where a studio wants to make a game with Hogwarts Legacy, but outside the action RPG genre. That's one of the few scenarios where I could see a Legacy game getting made by someone other than Avalanche, and really it's the only way I'd be okay with it. Even then, they would have to market this very carefully, as Avalanche is such a beloved studio in the eyes of fans. If fans perceive the game as a slight toward Avalanche in any way, then things could get ugly fast. Now, there could also be some downsides here. If WB is just looking to make a quick buck, we could see a wave of low-effort titles that are simply looking to capitalize on the Harry Potter name. And after the success of Hogwarts Legacy, with the TV show coming, a new theme park opening, it certainly seems like interest in the series isn't diminishing anytime soon. There could be a lot of opportunity here for future games set in the Wizarding world. But these other studios may not respect the lore and history of the franchise nearly as well as Avalanche did with Hogwarts Legacy. And if you have too many of these bad games, then that definitely starts to add up. Instead of boosting the value of Harry Potter and its IP, you actually start to devalue it, which is definitely not what WB wants here. And frankly, it's not what fans want to see either. Comment and let me know overall what you guys think. Do you think this would be a good thing or a bad thing for the future of Wizarding World video games? Now, of course, the next Wizarding World game set to release is Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, and we recently got our first official look at gameplay. I've already got the full breakdown for you here in the video on the left side of your screen, so check that out next. Big thank you to all our channel members, but especially our Tier 3 Phoenix members, The Flash, Martin, and Dylan. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.